And thanks, Griffin. Joining me now to discuss all of this is Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty. Governor, what an incredible report here. First, your reaction. Dr. Dean did say, undermine our country. He was right there. They're asking people to leave. They don't belong here. Since when do American citizens not belong confronting their public servants? Is that new in America?
Well, that report, I think, showed you and your viewers and all of us, Sean, the sights and sounds of democracy in action. I think that should be applauded, and we should say thank you to the people who are standing up to a very bad idea. And we have in this tradition an ability for people to fight against ideas that they don't like. Now, we want them to do it peacefully and civilly, but this is something that should be respected, not criticized. And if anybody's undermining the direction of the country, I think it's people like Dr. Dean who are saying we should have a new health care system like proposed by President Obama.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if the media will call him out on what he just specifically lied about, because we saw the tape of him saying it and we heard it in our own ears. Here's the problem, Governor. We have 17 of 58 Democratic senators. Obviously, Senator Byrd and Kennedy are not feeling well, so I wouldn't expect they'd have a town hall. But in other words, less than a third are willing to go out and meet with the American people, grandmothers, stay-at-home moms, veterans, concerned citizens. Do you think they're hiding from the American people? Do you think they're afraid?
Well, clearly there's been a scaling back of these town halls because they don't want to be confronted by citizens who are concerned, who have questions, in many cases are upset. And again, that's democracy in action, and I think they should be willing to stand in and hear that input. But this idea of reforming health care like President Obama has put on the table is very troubling, Sean. We have a federal government that can't even run the entitlement programs that it has now. Why would we give them another one? Having the Democrats watch your money and keep an eye over your money is like having Michael Vick watch your dog for the weekend.
Well, you know, the post office is going bankrupt. We know what happened to Fannie and Freddie, Medicare, Social Security. They're going bankrupt, and I don't think anyone was too happy with the government, state-run government, local-run government, during Hurricane Katrina. But there are people that still believe that the government is capable of doing this. I'm not sure where that confidence comes from. Are you?
Well, I think if you look at the track record, the ones you mentioned, but Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, plus the others, they have basically put onto a pathway to bankruptcy every significant entitlement program that they run. We should not give them another one. This should be a debate about fixing health care. We all acknowledge and admit and acknowledge that it needs to be fixed, but it needs to be fixed with consumers in charge, not the federal government.
All right, Governor, we now look at the president's poll numbers as he heads to Martha's Vineyard for vacation, and 45% according to John Zogby. He had a negative presidential approval index, 11 today, as low as 14 just 2 days ago. Here's what we have. Now, Barack Obama, 6 months ago, he predicted what the deficit would be. He was off by over $2 trillion. He now is predicting, in spite of his promise that if we pass the stimulus, that unemployment wouldn't go above 8%, he's now predicting we're going to hit double digits. And it's going to be, for the better part of 2010, it's going to be around 10% unemployment in this country. And I'm looking at this, and I see that the rest of the media is focused in on Eric Holder and the CIA and the appointment of Ben Bernanke, and that seems to me to be a kind of bait and switch. Do you think they're purposely trying to distract the American people away from these low poll numbers and away from the fact that their predictions have been so off and away from the fact that the American people are speaking out so loudly at these town halls?
Not necessarily, Sean. I think that their judgment is so bad and they are so hard left that they're making mistakes on multiple fronts all at once. As bad as the health care plan is, and it's bad for all the reasons you've been highlighting to your viewers, this decision by Eric Holder today to politicize interrogations, to bring it into the White House, we should be prosecuting individuals who are involved in the war on terror as terrorists. They are cold-blooded killers. We should not be prosecuting individuals who are working hard day in and day out to protect this country, in many cases risking their own lives. These individuals should be, encouraged and supported in their roles. But to have the CIA basically have this taken away from them, I think, is outrageous. The Attorney General should be reminded we are still a nation at war, and CIA should stand for can't interrogate anyone.
No, I think these guys are heroes. And what's interesting about it, if you look at page 85, the government in its own report actually admits that the program was more successful. Every CIA director has said that it was more successful. They got more intelligence, more information, saved more lives. than all of our intelligence communities combined. But I do believe there's a political factor here. As the president's on vacation, I do believe they want to change the story away from these town halls, their falling poll numbers. You don't think that's a factor at all in all
well,
this?
I think that it may be a factor, but I think they are multiplying their troubles. The country isn't going to lose sight of this health care issue. It is high on everybody's list of concerns. It's going to remain with us as they try to bring this back in the debate in the fall. But this situation where we are going to now be... Yeah, I think they're making multiple mistakes all at once.
All right. Will they be successful in passing this or not?
I sure hope not, Sean. I hope and pray not.
I hope and pray not, too. Governor, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.